Now we will dig into the true knowledge about the mind and the consciousness they don't want you to know, okay? We will dig into all the reasons which actually is going on in your life and also your trading, and combined with spirituality and all combining natural laws and everything that combines into it. We will dig into the real secrets. Again, they don't want you to know, but now get ready for what's actually going on in your mind, your consciousness, and obviously what is going on in your life and trading. Okay, so the first thing to start off this topic very easy and very slow. Most people are probably familiar with the law of attraction, but there's much more to it than you think it is, because again, everyone wants happiness, health, peace, prosperity, freedom. Everyone wants these things, right? But why are only so many people having all of those? Again, of course, maybe someone is happy, maybe someone is healthy, but happy and healthy? Okay, but then having peace, prosperity, freedom, to have everything, that's a trick by itself, right? So how can you achieve all those things and also in your trading get the results you want? How is it all possible? We start slow, but go into very great detail of how to achieve that on a mental level. Okay, to have the skills for it, obviously the knowledge and everything, that's a different chapter. But of course, you will dig into the mental state of how to achieve all those things. All right. Again, the law of attention, the law of attraction, obviously, is a real thing. However, there are requirements to achieve those things. Okay, the law of attention by itself, I'm saying attention all the time. The law of attraction, right? That of course works, but you have to do things to get it in motion to actually achieve what you want to achieve. Okay, so if you want the real change to happen, requirements exist, and that is what most of these gurus, they will not tell you or straight up deny, right? Again, they maybe say, oh yeah, you could sit in a cave and just meditate every day for 16 hours and then, oh, the peace of heaven will fall into your brain. That's not what will gonna happen, right? There are requirements that are necessary and have to be fulfilled in order to get the ball rolling, in order to get everything started, right? So specific requirements exist in order for human beings to obtain the conditions that they say they want. Okay, if the requirements for obtaining those conditions are not met, those conditions do not just magically manifest. Again, if you sit randomly around and just think, oh yeah, I will picture the perfect life in my head, and then go back to Instagram and scroll through, watch some motivation videos, and then go to bed, be like, oh, I'm so motivated, I will become a billionaire. It's not really what will bring you the results. Okay, we need to know and understand that certain things, again, these certain things will be knowledge that brings you to action is required. Okay, but we will start very basics with a lot of stuff. Again, not will a lot of people will mention, a lot of you maybe will not want to hear it, but again, you have to be very open-minded. If not, it will be very difficult overall. Okay, so again, maybe not the most pleasant topic to cover, but it's very important. There are specific hierarchies in life, and overall in the world there are hierarchies, right? And obviously they narrow it down, right? The more high you go up the pyramid, the deeper the information gets, the deeper the knowledge gets, right? But everything starts, of course, with the so-called debt slaves. That's again what birth is. These sheeple, like people running around having no clue about anything, the school system, normal labor, taxes, normal debt, right? Retirement, all living a normal life, work until you whatever 65, and then you can enjoy your pension and stuff like that. That's the people that have no clue what's literally going on in life. They go to school, they go to whatever, more school, high school, university, get their work for the next 50 years, and then just retire. Like, they have no idea what's going on. They get their credit, they finance the house, whatever, they get the in debt to buy like a fancy car and shit like that. Right? That's the people that, again, a lot of you guys don't want to hear that, but that's reality. They don't know what the hell is going on. Then these people that don't even know about world population control. They don't know how the government is telling them what to do, what they should do, what they should not do, what they should be aware of, what they should think, what they should not think, what they want to believe. Everything is implanted in their brains because they simply don't even know what's going on. We will dig into how they're actually doing that, right? Step by step. Again, they don't know about the media. They don't know that the media is completely controlled. Again, even that saying that I might even say that, you will be like, that's not true. Oh my God. But again, it's the reality if you want to accept it or not. Same thing with the education. A lot of people think, oh, they learn you such crazy good skills in schools. Again, we are in a very interesting time where a lot of people are waking up, awakening out of all that craziness. Again, these false belief systems, they try to actually tell you, and they realize, wait a second, to become a millionaire, I don't need to go to fucking university. I literally can watch YouTube tutorials about whatever. Like, there's millions of different sources to become a millionaire. It's not a secret anymore. People understand how to make money. It's not a normal work. Again, there's millions of different ways to achieve a very decent income that you could not achieve with a normal work, right? But that's stuff they will not learn you in school, right? Again, what's the resources that they control? All the corporations that will literally tell you what to consume, what to buy, what to eat, what's the good thing, what's the payment processor you use, what's the clothes you wear, where's the place you go to eat, what's the foods they put into the food, all that stuff. That's the world resource control. And there's, of course, corporations that are in control of that. And then we have, last but not least, right, the financial control. That's the banks, that's the interest revenue, that's the tax revenues, that's all the things with money, and of course also the financial markets, which we are in, the forex market. Of course, it's highly controlled, right? And if you watched the understanding of how the enigma and everything works, and how the architects building up all these resources to control these markets, and you already understand of how that works, right? And then again, the peak of the pyramid is, of course, the knowledge. Again, we will not even dig into the powerful families that are in control, that all of these companies are literally controlled by only a very, very minor families overall, right? And how they are literally controlling everything. No, we don't even need to dig into that. But the peak is the true knowledge that they literally try to hide from you, and they will never ever, just again, even give to here, here to here, here to here, and never ever into this roster, right? They will always prevent the education system to even get the right knowledge into there, right? Again, sounds harsh. Unfortunately, that's the reality. The true knowledge of human consciousness, how it works, how it operates, what your motivations are, how perception works, how humans can be manipulated, what humans' behaviors are, emotions, how does happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, surprise, how does all these different stages occur? They know exactly how to trigger all these things. And again, they understand all these things. And by knowing all these things, they can design the perfect distraction world for you to stop you from actually learning and understanding the world of how it really is. Again, we will not dig into this route of crazy conspiracy theories and blah, blah, blah. No, again, just tell you the normal facts. Again, these nonsense news, these whatever fake news of where they try to tell you lies and not even any proven information by just showing you one-sided information sources, and all these video games with all these dopamine hits, these Fortnite stuff, whatever, like all these crazy games which are just flooding your brain with dopamine and colors and all that stuff. The nonsense TV, the reality TV shows, like all the fakeness they try to show you with the celebrities that are so perfect and everyone is so pretty and oh my god, all the perfect world, and look at you, you nothing. Bullshit, right? All this TikTok, this social media, that life is living in a filter. Again, what is social media? It's exactly that. It's just the picture perfect side of some people's lives. But again, guess what? These people don't even live their lives. They only show you a filtered view of their life. They only show you the picture perfect angle, picture with the 10 filters on it and the photoshopped images. They don't show you the pictures where they're sitting in a corner eating a cheeseburger and looking like a Boba Fett or whatever, like this thing called from Star Wars, the fat creature, the green one. I forgot what the name that is, right? Again, they don't show you this picture. Again, and if they show you that, whatever, then they modify it to like this perfect picture, like image of like a model sitting there, like with big tits and big ass, right? It's all photoshopped and all filtered, right? Again, even if you meet these people in person, you understand, oh shit, that's how this person looks in real life. I didn't even know it. I didn't even expect that, right? It's the reality of how you see it is not even reality anymore. It's completely synthetic, produced filters over filters with perfect selection of only the best. Right? And that's where depression starts, because you see all this perfectness, then you look at your own life and it's not that perfect. But that's not reality, right? It all keeps you away from understanding truth and human perceptions, right? So what is perceptions? So if you take someone, a normal person, again, normal everything, like an average person, perception A for average, okay? So you see truth is in the middle in here, right? So truth is represented by this line, okay? He goes through life like with this. His frequency is very low. As you can see, the waves are very low, okay? It's not a high frequent being. It just has a very low perception of truth. What does that mean? Truth comes when his perception crosses the truth. Right? So he's getting in touch with reality or truth only a few times here and there, because he's having a low frequency, a low perception of truth. Okay, perception B can be someone who has better education, better knowledge, has a better mindset, is more open to reality, is more open to truth. What has to happen if he's more open to truth? He has to cross truth more times, has to be in touch with truth way more times in the same span. Again, it's in the same time span than the person with a low frequency. Perception B's frequency of reality is higher. He's more often in touch with truth than the low frequency human being, with the less education, with the very close minded, with the this and this is not true, I deny that, I don't want to know that, that's bullshit, I don't believe that. And this person who doesn't say that is way more closer to truth. He therefore has a higher frequency. And that brings you to perception C. If someone is very, very open to what's going on, has gathered true knowledge, true understanding, does his own research, doesn't believe everything, but doesn't deny everything as well, right? He's open and does his own research. He's a very high frequent being and is therefore way more often in touch with truth of how it really is in the same time span than, again, the other two, right? And that's, again, a very high frequency, right? The higher the frequency, the more you will be in touch with truth, okay? So if your consciousness is high, you understand the world of how it is, your frequency is high, then again, you're in touch with truth much further, much more often, right? If your consciousness is high, your frequency is high. If your consciousness is low, your frequency is low. If you deny everything in life and say, I don't want to know that, I don't care, I don't believe that, the media told me this and this, so I believe this, blah, 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 all this stuff, you'll be very low about truth, right? And it will be way harder for you to accept anything else than the stuff you want to believe. You're very closed mind and therefore way further away from truth than someone who's open or someone who's really open to it, right? If frequency is very high, again, your consciousness is very high as well. And what frequency means, again, is how frequently is the intercepting with the truth. Again, the middle line represents truth. How frequently are you intercepting the truth? That determines how high your frequency at the end of the day is. Okay? The higher the frequency, the more in tune you are with truth. So what happens, or what would happen, when the frequency would become infinitely high to truth? Right? If this thing or whatever is outside of you, but all the way touches the truth, your frequency is getting so high, it would get very close to the line of truth. Guess what's going to happen? It would look like this. Again, this frequency is getting so high you can't even see it anymore, because it's literally forming this picture of like a fat line, right? And it's therefore, it is aligned to truth of how it really is. The perception of reality is so accurate that it's literally aligned with truth. Again, the higher the frequency, the higher the perception of reality. You'll probably think like, what is going on? Okay, but just bear with me. Everything will make a lot of sense very, very soon. Very important to understand though. Perception alone is not equal reality. The perception is just the filter how you see reality, the filter you see reality through. Okay, and if you analyze your brain, you have obviously a left brain and a right brain half. Okay, you have two half of the brain. The brain is not equal to the brain. You have two brain halves, and each half has its own characteristics to it. A lot of you maybe even heard about that. The left brain half is the logical one, the analytical half, the scientific half, the mathematical and the linear side of life. Okay, that's where the logic comes from. If you're very good with science or like analytic thinking or logical thinking, you have a very good left brain half. The right brain half is the creative, emotional part of your life. Okay, that's where the compassion comes in, the pattern recognition. And you maybe already realize, okay, that's very interesting for your trading. Again, you need logical, analytical, maybe even a scientific or a linear approach. We don't really care about mathematical approaches too much in trading, right? Some people do, but not really that much, right? But we could more about creativity, pattern recognition, and again, emotional. It could be even be dangerous if you're getting greedy, FOMO, having fear, all that stuff. But overall, it is very important to have the goal to be in balance with both sides. Okay, that's where real consciousness is starting to develop. Okay, what do I mean by that? Intelligence comprises more than just intellect. Okay, so what does that mean? Intellect is the left brain understanding. True intelligence, though, is the holistic understanding. That means that true intelligence comes with the combination of the left and right brain halves. Okay, the intel of intelligence is the intellect. Okay, of course you need the intellect as well, but the other half of intelligence, the chance part, that comes from genre, which means generate or create. Okay, do you see what's going on here? We need both of the brain halves to unfold the true magic. That means intellect and creativity, logic and compassion. That's where true intelligence is being formed. That becomes very important for your trading later on as well. We will dig into it, right? So both brain sides have to be in balance. Because if a human, and again, you can make this test for yourself, and maybe you know people that fall into the category. If a human is left brain dominant, that means he's ruled by selfishness. He's a very selfish being. Again, if someone thinks he's very smart and he knows everything, they become selfish, right? Again, they become very egoistic driven as well, right? They don't want to know other shit. They think they know everything as well. They have very base desires, not good. Again, their personality is based on domination and control. They want to have control of everything. They want to be dominant in life, right? That's the people who think they're smart and think they know everything. Again, the left brain is taken over them. The other flip side to it is a human who is right brain dominant. They're ruled by emotions. That's where depression starts to kick in, right? That's where, again, you're getting all this emotional control. You're not controlling your own life anymore. Emotions control you. The personality getting based on even submissiveness and naivety. Okay, so that's also not good. Again, the power comes from combining both two brain cells and being in balance with your inner self. Okay, and that to achieve that state of mind, that all comes together into 7 principles of natural law and one hidden, quote unquote, hidden law, which is the core of all the other 7 principles of law. And if you understand those principles, not only your life will dramatically shift, but also your trading, all your desires. If you have other goals in life, everything is based on those 7 principles of natural law. If you want it or not, everything is based on those 7 laws. And that's where the time for you begins to truly awaken out of the matrix and free your mind and start to see things of how they really are.